Hello and welcome to Footy Corner. I'm Sparks. Welcome in. We're going to have Adam in. He's dropping in and out a little bit because he's walking the dog. So yeah, he'll just be coming in and out a little bit, but he'll be around. And Malcolm, we've got Malcolm as a new guest. How are we, my friend?
Very well, my friend.
Good, good. Have you? Oh, sorry, just going back in now. There we go. It's all good. Let me just send you up a bit. Yeah. Did you
Go on.
manage to
Let
see any of the
me.
internationals, Malcolm?
You said what?
Did you manage to see any of the England games?
Yes, I watched the first match. That's the one against Albania.
Yeah, and what did you make of that?
Well, I think they played good. They won 2-0. They kept a clean sheet, and the play was good, especially in the first half. And I think they have a new gem on their hands. That's Miles, the left back, and Lyles, sir. And
Yeah,
basically, yeah, I think they did well on that match. I didn't see the second one, so I can't say much about Tuchel's era and now it has begun. But from the first match, they dominated and yeah, usual Tuchel style of play.
yeah. And did you see any difference like to the regime from Tuchel to Southgate previously?
I think it's maybe too early to judge.
Yeah,
Just two matches, you can't compare what Southgate did so far. But I don't know. I just think it's too early to judge. I'd like to give it some more time before I make that comparison.
sure, sure. Would you agree with that, Adam? Do you? Oh, sorry, he's just dropping out. But yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, I didn't see that much difference, and there was a lot of backwards passing, particularly from the right hand side. But when you look at the personnel that was there, Odin, that's not in his natural position for a start off.
And I think
And
Foden has been out of form for some time recently.
yeah, and to be played out of position when you're not in form as well, I don't think that's altogether the best kind of recipe for getting the best out of him. So he was played out of position as well, and he's been out of form. You know, so it's not ideal to be playing him out of position. I think I don't think he's going to be doing much with us. To be honest, he seems to be dropping out a lot. Um, but yeah, it was definitely it was better down the right left hand side with Rashford kind of making runs, but it didn't really kind of fill me with too much confidence and too much.
Well, Rashford did a little bit good in the first half. If you would accept. I think he
Yeah, he didn't really get any shots off though, did he? He kind of did. He got a few crosses off. He didn't really get any shots off as such.
yeah, I think he's
Uh,
been rather with a reserved style since he left Manchester United. He's
yeah,
played more than he's been trying to maybe score goals like he used to be at Manchester United. He's been trying to be really
yeah,
that, if you say.
yeah, for sure. What did you make of the first game, Adam? Did you watch the first game?
Yeah, I was dipping in and out of it, mate. If I'm completely honest, I think in general, I think there's a lot of high expectations with Thomas Tuchel, isn't there? I mean, we've got this uh, first German manager that we've ever had, and
Yeah,
obviously with him winning the Champions League and being so dominant in the league, in Bundesliga, and being known as the professor in terms of his high
yeah,
expectations in terms of his tactical management and player management. Everyone's expecting us to beat Albania and Latvia 7-0. I think obviously a 2-0 result against Albania is too sad with the squad selection that he had. And I also think that the 3-0 win against Latvia, a team that we've never played before, again, isn't too bad. We've had two games, scored 5 goals, two clean sheets, and with a team that we know we can get a better squad selection from. Um, I thought the Albania game was a bit dry, very reserved. And I think, as soon as Jared Bowen, I'm going to be biased here because I'm a West Ham fan. I thought when he come on, he looked very lively. And I think even Adrian
when the
gave
subs
him a very
when the
high.
when the subs happened, it injected a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So overall, what do you think we learnt more in that 30 minutes than we did in the whole of the duration of the other game?
I think it's really hard to say. I think the squad in itself, I felt, was like a last chance saloon, clean slate sort of squad, really, because I think Gareth Southgate obviously dropped Marcus Rashford for a reason. He dropped Jordan Henderson for a reason, and I think Tuchel has kind of brought these players back in to kind of say, well, why did Southgate drop him? Whether they get called up in the next squad will be interesting, because then that must mean something, because then Tuchel might agree with Southgate. But I think it's really hard to tell. I think it's a results based business. We're in a qualification group where we need to top that group to go straight through. I mean, it's going to be harder to not qualify than to qualify, I think.
For sure.
Especially with there being 48 teams in competition in the World Cup next year. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's too early to say. I think that we've got a whole year ahead of us. Who knows who's going to break on the scene in terms of England internationals? We've seen Miles Lewis-Skelly burst on the scene now, and I think he's the youngest debutant to score for England. Is that right?
Yeah. Not the youngest, I don't think. I think he's the third youngest. I think Michael Owen and Rooney are ahead of him.
Right, okay.
I think,
what's the
off
score?
the top of my head.
Just to score in the Nations League.
To score in
qualifiers, no?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Him being the youngest for scoring a goal or something. I don't remember though.
Oh, I can't remember. Exactly, but I thought it was. I thought it was in the realms of that, but I didn't think it was actually top of it. But it might well be. But yeah, the Lewis Skelly thing is kind of made that position his own, hasn't he? I mean, even this early on.
Yeah, it's debatable, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of left backs out there, young left backs that would be buying that position. It's probably a position that we've kind of been very weak in. Relied on Luke Shaw and out of place Trent Alexander Arnold filling that position in the past two tournaments. But
and Trippier,
we've got Lewis Hall, we've got Livramento, we've got Lewis Skelly, we've even got a young Ollie Scholes for West Ham that could even make a step up. It depends on how he progresses over the next year, but it's exciting. I think it's exciting. We've got a really young squad. I just hope that we can evolve away from the Carl Walkers and the Jordan Hendersons of the squad.
Yeah, I think he just put them in to give a bit of security, didn't he? Just to go right. Okay, well these are seniors, so we're going to do that. So because he knows that he can rely on them more than anything. I'm not too sure about the Henderson call up. I don't really understand that too much, but
I think because I think most of that is because you've got a squad of 25 players now, and I think if you've got room there to have leaders in the dressing room that ain't going to get games, then why not have someone like that looking about? And then on the other hand, it takes away a playing position that could be given to someone that needs the experience to step up in tournaments. But if it's tournament football, you need to win. Who cares about whether someone's got experience on?
Absolutely.
Not. I mean, we took a young Theo Walcott when he was 16 years of age to a World Cup. He never played. We even took Ben White to the last World Cup. He never got played, and he ended up getting sent home early. So, when you look at that, if your strongest 11, and then you've got your impact subs of up to 5, then you need a squad of 25 players.
Yeah. Where are you with the Ben White thing? If Ben White gets brought back into the squad when he was outcast, where are you? Where are you with welcoming him back? Would you welcome him back, or do you think he decided not to do it? So he should just bugger off.
Oh, I think there's always that you don't ever turn down your country in terms of playing for your country. I mean, there's always that kind of questionable aspect to it. But if there's a personal difference between Southgate and his assistant coach and Ben White in terms of the way they want to play and where he sees himself in the squad, then you can understand why he's pulled out. Otherwise he's going to waste his time in a setup where he's never going to feature. But I think if Tuchel wants to play three at the back, I think he could probably be the best. He's the best right-sided centre half that could play in that back three. With Gahey and even Levi Colwell, even Gerald Quansah. I think there's a lot of flexibility there to play with three at the back. I'm all for it. Again, if you're going to win a World Cup, you need your best players, and I think Ben White's probably one of the best defenders in the country, English-wise.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, and I suppose I'm a little bit biased anyway because I'm an Arsenal fan. But it's I completely agree with him basically saying, well, if you're going to treat me like crap, then I don't want to be here. And he goes to the manager, well, if you're not going to back me, then I don't want to play for you. And then I thought it went right up to the FA, to be honest with you. So I'm quite surprised that he's coming back, because I think if he's basically said, I'm not doing it, I'm quite surprised the FA have let him back in the fold. But maybe it didn't go as high as I thought it did. So yeah, it's kind of a thing. But Malcolm, do you agree with that? So if a player's been outcast, that they can just come back into the fold, or do you think that he shouldn't be anywhere near the squad?
Well, we don't know what they might have settled behind the scenes. Obviously, they would have had a conversation around that, and definitely they come to an agreement, gentleman's agreement, and it can be recalled. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, yes, but of course I'm sure they've spoken and probably resolved whatever differences they have.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest problem is we do know what was said, and the manager didn't take control of it, and he didn't speak to the player at all. He just kind of stood behind his coach and just said, well, nothing happened, so that's it. Do you not think that's the case?
I'm not so familiar with the situation actually. So
well, basically what happened is Steve Holland basically was asking Ben White what the tactics were that he played with Arsenal, and he said, I just played football, mate. So Steve Holland was the assistant, and he basically asked Ben White what the situation was with the playing time, how they played, and he said, I play football, mate. I don't know what to tell you. You're the coach. So I don't deal with that. I just play football. And he basically made out. He basically just made out that it was stupid, really. Sorry, I'm just trying to see what. But yeah, Adams had to drop out anyway. Yeah, Adams had to drop out anyway, since his battery's dead. But yeah, but you're all for basically for players coming back in the fold, even though they've had some kind of disagreement. Oh, he dropped out as well. It's not going very well, is it? He's coming back.
Sorry,
hello, it's not going very well. Everybody dropping out.
I'm back. So you were saying Terry Holland asked Ben White. So
So basically asked him what the tactics were at Arsenal, and he basically said, I don't know. It's I just play football, sort of thing. And Steve Holland basically made him out to be stupid in front of everybody, going, you shouldn't play football, sort of thing, or you should concentrate more or do whatever. It was a bit a bit weird.
Yeah,
So yeah, for me, I mean, I think personally, I think that the manager should have taken control of the situation and basically gone, nothing to see here. Have a chat with both of them. Doesn't happen again. It shouldn't get to the point of anybody going home, should it? Just because you've had.
No, I don't think it should get to the point of anybody going in. They should be able to solve that right there on the field, and I remember they should be able to solve that.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I was just messaging around, Mike. So yeah, I mean, for as far as Tuchel's concerned, a 2-0 win and a 3-0 win in his first 2 games, 5 goals, 2 clean sheets. Granted, they're both at home and against lesser opposition, and games that they should be they're expected to win, but at least they didn't fail to win.
Yeah.
Is that how we should look at it for Tuchel in this first international break?
I don't think so. I think what's more important is that they won both matches and they won well.
Yeah.
Matches, 5 goals in 2. That's good. I know the opposition on paper, looks lesser and all, but you'd agree with me that football is taking a turn in recent times where they're all on more talent. They're unknown, but they're all on more talents playing good football in different teams, different nations, and all. So football is not you'd have expected every match England plays against Albania to probably end 5-0, 6-0, 7-0 thereabouts. But yeah, sometimes it's going to be a little more difficult, especially when it's a team that's sitting on a low block, not coming out 2-0 clean sheet, dominating the match. I think that's good enough for the first match on that.
Yeah, I mean, you said you didn't watch the second game, but after the substitutions were made in the second game, then certain players came on, and there was a bit more of a urgency and a bit more of a press and a bit more of kind of, I assume, what Tuchel would want going forwards.
Which
So,
players came on, if I may ask?
say again.
So which players came on, if I may ask?
Which players came on? Lewis Skelly went off, and let me find it actually because I need to refresh it myself. So Jones went off and Rodgers came on. Rashford went off and Gordon came on. Foden went off, Bowen came on. And then a little bit later, Rice went off and Henderson came on. God knows why Henderson got picked. I guess they don't really have anybody else to play that role because Wharton is out.
Yeah.
So I assume Henderson won't get the nod next time. I think it'll be Wharton. Lewis Skelly came off and Reece James came on.
So I think it's a matter of urgency, fresh legs, new set of players wanting to show what they can do under the new regime also. So I guess that probably brought about the change to the change in intensity in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with this. I mean, it's we got a good squad enough to win. Is it a failure if Tuchel doesn't win it? I don't think that's necessarily the case. It's his first kind of tournament.
Let him start, man. Let him actually start.
Yeah, he needs to know who his team is going to be first before anything else. And once he's got that kind of sorted, then we can kind of scrutinize a little bit more. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, of course. The squad has got a lot of talent. He needs to see everyone, see each and every. He already knows some, yeah. Coached quite a lot of players at Chelsea, so I'm sure at some point, if Mason Mount can stay fit, I'm sure he might get the the chance to get back in the team too. So I think there's still a lot of players to see, a lot of decisions to make, and right now these two matches cannot be used to George Tuchel's impact or supposed impact yet. It's basically just a start on.
Yeah, I mean, there was a stat doing the rounds as well that since this was the first starting 11 since 1992 that there were no Liverpool players, no Man United players, and no Man City players.
Oh wow!
Does that worry you as a United fan?
No, it doesn't. I mean, look, decisions where managers have to pick who they play. It also depends on what each player gives at their club. What you've been playing all season will determine if you get called up by your national team manager. And
Yeah.
look at the position where Manchester United is. We can't necessarily watch the name at this point. We have to see what they are playing, what talents they have, and there's not a lot of English players in Manchester United squad right now who could have been called up. I think maybe Kobe Mainu, but then he's injured and he hasn't been in that form that he came with a season or so ago. So I think it's
Yeah.
a factor of what's going on at the clubs. But for Man City and Liverpool, I'm sure the players will get called up. TTA. Was Trent injured?
Trent was injured, yes.
Would have been there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to him, to be honest. Oh, it was his ankle, wasn't it? He rolled in the final. So he rolled his ankle, I think, in the League Cup final. So he wasn't available. Obviously, Mainu wouldn't be available anyway, and he'd probably come in with Wharton, wouldn't he, for a Henderson replacement.
Yeah.
So being that kind of vein, and then it potentially pushes Rice forward or whatever. I don't know exactly how that would work. Whether he would go to some kind of double pivot and whatever. But yeah, I thought it was interesting really because he was trying kind of different formations in the Albania game, but nothing really kind of changed the flow as such. It was kind of a lot of getting into an area and then just passing a ball backwards or sideways or whatever. So it's very slow play.
Yeah. That's Tuchel style, no?
Yeah, but he does like to press up as well.
Albania sat back at home all through the match. They didn't really
Yeah.
do anything going forward, so that makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I think we just need to take it as he did what he had to do, and it kind of got us through it, and that was it really. So, but yeah, Lewis Skelly obviously scoring on his debut has got to be a highlight. Rice assisted one in each game, which is good for him. Harry Kane got one in each game, I believe. Yeah, he scored in the first one as well, didn't he? Yeah, that free kick from Reece James was a bit of a peach, to be fair. Yeah, it's very very reminiscent of the one Bruno scored against us, though I think
Yes.
the wall was set up right in this one, but yeah, it's funny because they all said that the keeper was wrong for that one, for the Bruno one, but this keeper set up exactly the same. Did you actually see the goal? Did you actually see how the keeper set up?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I did see the free kick. I saw it on X. I saw it earlier. So I don't think we can blame the keeper for that. That was just a perfect
No.
free kick. It's similar to the Bruno on there was enough space, enough power on it, and it's.
Yeah.
I think it's when you want to blame the keeper in such situations, but in the real sense of it, it was just a very good goal.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's just one of those things you cover this side and not that side, and kind of hope the wall covers that, didn't you? But yeah. Okay, well, I think we kind of done enough on the England game anyway. But the news that kind of broke today is that Trent Alexander Arnold is all but agreed with Real Madrid. Have you seen this news? What do you think of this news? What does that mean for Liverpool, do you think?
I saw it earlier on different tabloids. I saw it on Fabrizio also gave an update around that. I think it's inevitable. I think everybody already expects that. Perhaps Liverpool fans might have a little bit of hope that he'll stay back, on board and all. But Real Madrid is the big club, and you just have to imagine, put yourself in their shoes sometimes and see what decisions he would make. He's played for Liverpool. He's probably won everything he could win in the club. I'm sure I would want to win more, but then if you get the opportunity to go to a club like Real Madrid, I'm sure you would. Everybody would want to make history, write their name in history, and Real Madrid is history.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of a bit of a sad situation, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, everybody thinks, my club's a big club, and this and that and the other, and you're going to go on to win the Premier League and whatever this season,
You need to keep your best player.
and you still can't keep your players to get that, homegrown as well. It's proper scouse or whatever that means. But yeah, but yeah, when it is actually a different knock, isn't it? When Real Madrid come calling for anybody, you kind of go, right, I need to worry for my player now.
Which one? Whichever
So
player.
if Real Madrid come calling for your players, you kind of know you're kind of screwed from the start off.
Yeah, of course. You just know your chances of keeping the player is probably 30%.
Yeah, I mean, there are obviously certain players that turn it down. I think was it Gerard that actually turned down and stayed when he had the opportunity to. I think it was go to Chelsea, whatever. But
They don't make players like that no more.
yeah, I mean, when you think that that Gerard didn't win the Premier League as well, and he probably stayed because believing that one day they would win it, and ended up not winning it at all. I wonder if even today, he kind of thinks, I wish I'd moved.
Yeah, I'm sure part of them will feel like that. It's just human needs. So I think a part of them will definitely feel like, what if I had moved? Would it have changed? But
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of human nature, isn't it, to just to go, right, okay, I didn't do it at my club. Was I stupid to believe that it could happen, and it never did?
it's just, when you're not just a player for the club, when you're a fan, you're a
Yeah.
fan of the club, it's more difficult to make that decision about leaving or not leaving. You're going to continue open, continue believing we could get it, especially when you come close, so many times, probably finishing second, finishing third, so.
Yeah, I mean, we see fans all the time that can't detach even when they're doing commentary, let alone when they're playing now. It means a lot, doesn't it?
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, but what do you see happening with Van Dijk and Salah now?
Man, I really don't know. I think it will be a big blow if Liverpool is going to lose three big stars in one summer. But not just Liverpool, even like EPL, English football doesn't really start to other leagues. So I don't know, but I do think I don't think Salah would sign. Probably they give him a new 2-year contract because if you lose a player like Salah, it's going to be difficult to to replace him, and he's still in his prime. You know, it's not like he's done. We've still got, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 more seasons playing this way in him. So I think they'll come to an agreement with Salah. I can't tell about Van Dijk. I don't know if Real Madrid is also looking at Van Dijk. You know,
I believe that Real Madrid were and PSG were, and I don't know if you go PSG. I mean,
I don't will go with PSG because except
yeah,
maybe PSG. I don't know. I just don't feel like he would leave England and go to France to PSG. But who
no,
knows?
I agree. I think if he came from there, I think maybe that's the case. Or if it is specifically about money, then maybe he would. But do you think that
I
Trent's
just,
decision?
what?
Do you think Trent's decision is made because he already knows that they're leaving, or do you think that's completely unrelated?
You saying it now makes me think it could be an influence. You know, if he already thought about leaving and then he's seen that Van Dijk might leave, Salah might leave, and the team is getting depleted. You know, getting they're not being as strong as they've been. So that could actually sway his decision making and make him conclude, oh, I got to go. But I don't think, if you ask me, I don't really think that's the case. I just think his head has been turned by Real Madrid since they probably approached him, and that decision has been made. He's just waiting for the summer, and then he can move. It's similar to Mbappe's situation too, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that obviously Mbappe was like a bit like Trent, really, wasn't it? It was about like the worst kept secret ever, and we haven't heard that much about who they've actually signed for or who they've held talks for or with. So does that lead us to believe that they're just staying and everything else is just like murmurings and they're just going to sort it out, or do you think that they've just kept a very good secret of it? Being Real Madrid,
But
actually
not
keeping a secret is a bit of a thing for them.
it's not been a secret. That's been in the open for some time. You know, Fabrizio reported. I think Austin did a report on it too. So it's not been.
Who was reporting that? Sorry,
Fabrizio said something about that today, something around, Trent.
with VVD.
No. I thought you were talking about Trent with VVD.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that obviously, if
Linking
you
Madrid. So there's not been any real,
real link, isn't there?
yeah, just random sources saying this or that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So obviously, Madrid aren't, or Madrid sources aren't very good at keeping secrets,
Yeah,
and Mbappe was a poorly kept secret, and Trent was as well. So, would we have heard more if Van Dijk was probably going to Real Madrid?
I think we would have heard more, of course. Would have heard more.
Yeah. So maybe that points to them staying, possibly. Yeah, I don't know exactly, but where do you think they finish if they lost all three of them? Do you think they're still in a title race next season?
Well, I can't tell. I can't. I'm trying to imagine it, but it depends on how they replace them. If they,
Yeah, but do you see them replacing them with like for like players, knowing what their board are like?
if you're going to replace them with like for like players, then it's going to cost a lot. That means you're buying
Yeah.
superstars. So obviously they won't be doing that, knowing how Liverpool operates. They definitely won't be doing that. So I just think they would probably go for one or two established players in the EPL already. Lesser money but lesser name. Bring them and then try to. There's no like for Salah.
No, there
Sorry,
isn't, is there?
many like for Salah right now. So that's why I still they would get a new contract. They'll come to a compromise and something to, because there's not been too much talk around Salah moving to Madrid or anywhere else too, and I'm not even sure he wants to leave Liverpool to go compete with other top players at those clubs like Barca or Madrid, you know. So I
No,
think
I don't think he does want to go, but I think he wants a 3-year deal, doesn't he? He wants a 3-year deal and a pay increase.
might get a 3-year deal or maybe just settle for 2+1, you know, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, but I think that's the sticking point, that they offered a year, and he wanted a 3-year deal.
Sincerely, I think Liverpool will be making a mistake to lose Salah now.
Yeah, well, I completely agree with you. I completely agree. But even if Salah does stay, is there potential that he doesn't have the season that he's had this season, and
Well, I think he's had his
that's it?
season yet right now, if I'm correct, right? So he might not have this season next season, but he would have his standard season, you know, always be one of the best around. You know, it
Yeah,
might be good, but of course, you know, Salah will be good enough.
yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you think that they do a drop off now with Trent deciding to leave? Do you think there's any kind of drop off? There's any kind of um destabilization, as it were, or do you think that they knew this already and it's just been announced, sort of thing?
I think a club as big as Liverpool, if Trent is truly going to leave in summer, I think they already know this. You know,
Yeah,
starting that
yeah.
after what is your decision? Are you staying? Are you leaving? So I think they already know this.
Yeah, I think it was like premeditated. I think everybody kind of knew it was happening. I think everybody knew like a year ago, really, that Trent was leaving, and to me, it would have been a bit more of a shock if he'd stayed than anything else. To be honest with you,
I'm not. I
and
don't think I was shocked though. You know, is cows or what did you say earlier? So is a fanboy. If truly he's a fanboy, he might decide to stay. You know, you never can tell when it comes with when this transfers come with a part of emotion. So he
yeah,
might okay, I'm staying or not. So if he decides to stay, I won't be a surprise.
yeah, fair enough. And it's FA Cup weekend as well, so we got a bit more of an elongated break, if you like, for those of us that aren't in it. You knocked us out. You got knocked out yourself, so that's a bit of feasibility or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, how who would you like to win the FA Cup? Given the teams that are still in it, obviously we're at the quarterfinal stage. Who would you want to win it? Hi Simon, how are you doing, man?
Which teams are left in the FA Cup actually?
Who are
Is it
left?
quarterfinal now?
It's the quarterfinal now, so we've got Preston. I kind of did shout you out. Hi Simon Short, how are you doing? So you've got Crystal Palace, Fulham.
Okay.
You got Bournemouth, Preston, Man City. Probably missing somebody. You got Palace, Fulham, Bournemouth, City, Forest.
Hi Simon, welcome.
Yeah, there you go. We both said hello to you, Simon.
I'm missing
Welcome
two.
in. So yeah, who would do you think you'd want to win it?
Is Tottenham still in the FA Cup? No, I don't think so.
Tottenham. Who?
Yeah.
Spurs.
Yes, first.
No, they're out. I think so. Anyway, oh, one sec. I'm pretty
No,
sure they're out.
I
I'm
don't.
gonna look now.
Man, I really.
Say again.
I don't really have a preferred team to win right now. Let the best man win. the best team win. I support Manchester.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got Fulham Palace, Brighton Forest, Preston Villa, Bournemouth Man City.
I think I would like Villa to win. I think
Villa.
they're playing good football, and like Newcastle won something. I think they deserve to win something too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with that, to be honest with you. My mate's a Villa fan. I've got no real problem with Villa winning it. Actually, Fulham or Palace, I wouldn't mind either of those winning it. Actually, to be honest with to be honest, anybody but City, I'm not really. And yeah, that's all I'm all I'm bothered about, really. I just so long as City don't win it, I don't care about anybody else. Because have a bad season, and just like you did for the last 2 seasons, have bad seasons and still end up picking up silverware.
All right.
So
And then
yeah,
cut back season, and there's still a possibility that we might pick up something again. Hopefully,
with the Europa League, do you think you could win the Europa League?
Going by the way we've been playing all season, I'd say we'll fall short. But then, this is football, and anything can happen if we keep going. If we keep, I think in the last 5 matches we've been unbeaten. Aside the draw against us now, we've won the other 4 matches. So I think
Yeah,
that part. I hope this international break does not disrupt things. I hope they get back to what they were doing, because you could start to see the idea Ruben Amorim is trying to bring in, start to see it in the team before they went for that break. So if they go on like that and then the injured players get back, why not? There's every chance. But first, we have to go through Leon. Leon have been great all season, especially in the.
yeah. I mean, for me, it's nice to see it's nice to see a manager adapting to because he obviously knows he hasn't got the players, so he obviously adapts the situation to he adapts it to his squad, sort of thing. So he's changed the style of play slightly, so just to get the results. So it took him long enough, in my opinion, but at least you actually see him making the changes.
Yeah, I guess he was a bit hesitant and not doing it, but then he realized he didn't have a choice, because those players just couldn't do exactly what he needed them to. So why not
Yeah,
adapt, get your own type of players?
yeah, for sure, for sure. He's asking for another shout out. Just literally just done that twice. I don't know if he's got his volume up, but we've done that twice already, Simon. So yeah. There we go.
Hi, Simon. Shouting out to you again.
Yes. Hello again, Simon. I think that's the 4th time. Yeah.
Simon's having a little bit of fun.
I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you, but yeah, it's a little bit mental. But there we go. Guys, if you're in the channel and you've been watching, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe and drop any comments in the comment section. We're going to call that there for tonight, but we'll hopefully get Malcolm back on at another point. And I don't know if you're around on Thursday. But yeah, we're going to do a show there. But yeah, in the meantime, thanks for coming on.
You're welcome, my friend. Thanks for inviting
me. Yeah, no problem at all. And yeah, hope to have you on many times more. But yeah, guys, if you're in the chat, please make sure you're hitting like and subscribe. And we're pushing to 500 subscribers. I think we're on 250. So the more's the better. Please make sure you're sharing the video, sharing the lives. And yeah, we'll be back on Thursday, and we're going to do we'll do a crossover into the FA Cup games and the Premier League games. So until then, I've been Sparks. This is Footy Corner, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.